All right. Give it a couple more minutes right quick. Get everything set up. Represent my Knicks tonight on this 2023 NBA Draft Lottery post thoughts, if you will. Everything set up here. A few more seconds. All right, let's get this together here. In 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank y'all for a few of y'all for tuning in to this live. This is my post 2023 NBA Draft Lottery thoughts. All right. So, in case y'all missed it, I'd like to send a quick congratulations to the San Antonio Spurs for sucking their way to the number one overall draft spot in the lottery. But in all seriousness, Victor Wembanyama, who's everyone that was projected San Antonio to take, he couldn't be going to a better situation out of the lottery teams, right? Because sure, San Antonio is going through hard times right now. It's not because of lack of talent. It's not because of lack of effort. They're just not as talented. They're led by a dude named Keldon Johnson in points per game, followed by Devin Vessel, Devontae Graham, and Trey Jones from Duke. But after I said Keldon Johnson and Devin Vessel's name, and you said who and exactly. That's what San Antonio's problem is. They don't have the talent and the star power as the other teams do, which is why they sucked their way to the top in tonight's draft. But they're still coached by a man named Greg Popovich, who, in addition to being the wokest NBA coach in the league, which is a good thing, obviously. But still, the point is that he's a great coach. He's one of the all-time greats. He knows what the hell he's doing, and the front office is so well run with R.C. Buford still at the top as the GM. So Wembanyama is in good hands, right? It's just a matter of time if the Spurs, the question is, will they be able to get the pieces and the talent to surround this young man, so not only that he could succeed and help his team succeed, but also it could be a chance for him to stay there when he eventually becomes a free agent if he does what he's supposed to do and balls out, right? So because we've seen this time and time again that so many young star players leave the smaller markets that they've been drafted to because, again, a lot of these smaller markets are in the lottery for a reason to go to the bigger market. So hoping that San Antonio Spurs, for the fans' sake and the team's sake, would turn around and again, I do not think there's a better situation amongst the lottery teams for Victor Wembanyama to fall to than, I'm laughing here, than the San Antonio Spurs. My man Bear Simonez said Victor needs to eat a bunch of cheeseburgers. And let's get to that right now. Victor Wembanyama, he's 7'4", just tall, but he weighs less than my son who's 13 years old, okay? The man needs to put some meat on his bones. We all know this. We all see how skinny he is, right? And yes, he's dominated in the French league over there, and they do play some good ball over there in Europe. But this is the NBA he's going to. This is going to be grown-ass men he's going to go up against. So I need for the young man to gain some weight. I need for him to put on some more muscle because they're going to be banging him down low because any basketball player knows this, right? In order to successfully go up against a challenger shot blocker, you have to get up in him. What that means is you got to body him up. You got to move like when you drive, you body yourself into him so that at the very least you could draw a foul on him, okay? And so to that point, the more fouls that he will accumulate over the stretch of the game, the more tentative he becomes. And when he becomes more tentative, then you can get your shot up more freely than you would if he wasn't in foul trouble. That's what happened with Chet Holmgren last year in the preseason in the summer league. And look for that same thing to happen with Wembanyama. But yeah, he needs to get in the gym, put on some serious muscle, and prepare for the bump and the grind. Pause. But I would say this, man. I hope for this young man, say that he does well. I want him to do well. Just like I wanted Holmgren to do well last year before he got hurt, unfortunately. But he's in for a rude awakening in the NBA. And well, as far as this, the greatest prospect of all time, I mean, I get it. He's 7'4" and agile like a deer. Can put the ball on the floor, has guard skills, can shoot the three, has a decent mid-range game, can dunk all over your ass, right? But he's coming from Europe. And like I said, again, they play good ball in Europe. Just like, what's his name in Dallas? Fudge, I forget his name off the top of my head. Luka. Just like Luka, he played in Europe since he was a professional since he was 14 years old. And he came in, he was ready. But the big difference is that Luka actually has a meat on his bone. Maybe a little fat too, but some meat on his bones, right? Whereas when Wembanyama, he's frail. I mean, you blow against his ass, like if you just blow at him, he would just fall over. I mean, but again, I have faith that the San Antonio strength and conditioning staff and the front office and the coaching staff will have this young man develop. It may take him a couple years, but I think he'll be just fine down there. I mean, but because look on the bright side. At least he didn't end up in Charlotte. Okay? I mean, because we all know how big of a dumpster fire Charlotte has been ever since they came back in the league as under the previous reincarnation of the Bobcats. Terrible, as Charles Barkley would say. Absolutely terrible. And, you know, seeing how crazy it is down there right now, I mean, LaMelo Ball, he's a baller, no pun intended, but he's hurt. Hopefully he comes back healthy. But do you really think that LaMelo would want to stay around that stench down there? You got an overpaid Gordon Hayward, a ball hog, and I forget the other guard's name down there who used to play in Boston with Gordon Hayward. But the point is that it's terrible. And also no other reason for the rest of the basketball world and fans out there to be happy to end up in Charlotte is because that would have given another feather in the cap of Michael Jordan, aka the Antichrist. For those of you who don't know, I can't stand Michael Jordan. He went to Carolina, went to NC State. That's reason number one. Reason number two, his satanic Chicago Bulls, with the help of favorable officiating, if I could say that, put up my Knicks the past few years in the playoffs, kept UM from getting a chip or two or three. So I hate Michael Jordan. I can't stand anything that he walks into. I laughed at his ass when he was making a fool out of himself as a member of the Washington Wizards. Even worse so as a front office dude who Richie got fired, which is hilarious to me. I'm so glad that Wembanyama did not end up in Charlotte. I'm also glad he didn't end up in Houston, even though I will say this. Houston has some nice pieces. They're actually very talented. I just didn't like the way they did Steven Silas. That's my only beef with Houston. Okay? And Portland has a good thing going. Okay? It ain't Charlotte, but they have a good thing going. The point is this, man. I'm glad that Wembanyama is in San Antonio for his sake. Glad he ended up in Charlotte. But I will say this: how would you like to be either that Smith kid from Alabama, Brandon Smith, I think his name is, or Scoot Henderson right now? Could you imagine either of them saying, "Look, don't draft me into Charlotte at number 2"? I mean, they'll probably end up being Scoot Henderson. I think Henderson's the better player than Brandon Miller, but. Yeah, I feel sorry for either one of those two dudes who ends up at number 2 to Charlotte. I'm praying for them in advance. But anyway, that's all I got. This has to be the shortest live, one of the shortest lives in the YouTube history. I just want to get it off my chest. I'm going to come back tomorrow night and talk about what's going on in the ACC realignment. That's going to be a big thing. It's a big thing right now. It's conference in my youth, so I have a lot of thoughts about that. So until next time, y'all take care. Peace and hair grease. Peace.